Hi, this is Nadia, your Student Advancement Supervisor, aka the new Scott, and I'm here today to tell you a bit about the updates to your landing page or home page in Google Sheets. I'm volunteering Carolyn as an example, as always, so thank you, Carolyn. As you can see, we've got the teacher name, the subjects, and the school year. This video is on your student folders, which are linked to your student names. What happens if I hover over students? I can see there's a folder with my name on it or the teacher name, in this case, Carolyn's folder. We won't go there just yet. She has 3 students and each folder is linked to a name that matches the student. So in order to navigate, we have to click on this separate blue link that pops up. So here I'm going to click on Carolyn and it will open Carolyn's folder. So we can see right away that we've been transported to Google Drive within your browser. The other window is still open at the top, or the other tab rather. So I can redirect there if I need to. But let's look around Google Drive for a minute. I can see the same students listed in Google Drive as in my sheets. So we've got the 3 students here. And then below, we've got 2 shortcuts. That's what this arrow signifies. A shortcut will lead you to the master copy of a file, but this itself is not the master copy. It's a representation or an access point. So the first one, that's just your name, that's your sheets. So if you double click on that, it would bring us back to Google Sheets. The second one is your timesheets. This does not apply to everyone just yet, but this is the same thing that is linked to your home page and which is also the topic of our current PD. Finally, you'll see a template of the meeting plan, and in the future, we may add other templates. So what happens if we enter a student folder? We're just going to pick on Julian here. You'll see 3 folders: logs, next lessons meeting plan, and recordings. In addition, for students who have a new LP as of this September, you'll see the LP also in this folder. So we are really concerned with the changes to next lessons meeting plan. This is in case of illness or we need to have a substitute come in. This way it's easy to find the next lesson plan in line. And if we double click on that, we'll see that Carolyn has everything laid out for Julian's next lesson. So we can see this navigation at the top, and you can use the navigation as links. We'll go back to Julian. We're not really concerned with logs at this time, but consider this a storage area so that you don't need to keep them on your own hard drive. We don't expect things to be in there unless you have a new student who's being supervised or you are currently a new teacher being supervised. So we've already looked in next lesson's meeting plan. Finally, recordings, and this is where you'll submit your monthly lesson recordings. You may not see a folder when you enter here. You can just click and drag from your desktop into the browser, and it will upload the file. If you are moving a file from your drive to here, I will explain that in another few minutes. This will basically be an archive of your recordings, and admin will move your recordings into a protected folder just to make sure that there's no accidental loss. Sometimes we can delete a file, move a file by accident. So this will be a protected folder that you can continue to comment on and view, but you will not be able to remove the files once they have been entered. Some students will have been with other teachers before you, and some of your students may move on to other teachers. Those files and recordings will be protected, so other teachers will not have access to your recordings if the student happens to move on. So that's it for the folders here. Having a space to put your recordings will help your storage. that will go onto our Reading School storage account rather than your own. So we started off initially from the home page. We're going to look at another access point that you can use. If you were to start in Google Drive from the Google series, of course, you have your account in the top right, so you need to make sure you're logged into the correct account to access the Reading School materials. This list of Google Apps is where you might have to go to access particular files. We are going to use Drive today because this is a good way to distinguish your Drive from the Reading School folders. If I navigate to Drive, it's going to default to my Drive. So it will take me to files within my own network or storage. If you use the left-hand menu, Shared with Me is where you should find the folders you've been invited to from the Reading School. In this case, Shared with Me will lead to files and folders that have been shared from our staff and from our teachers. It could be recordings that you've shared with us, meeting plans and logs. Just remember that sharing an item is like giving someone a shortcut to your master copy. The master copy exists on your account, and if you delete it, the share access point or the shortcut is also removed. So in order to make sure that we have a lasting archive of these recordings, please be sure that you're uploading the file or moving it from your Drive to ours before you delete it permanently. I think that may be it for our basic tutorial. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them at this weekend's PD session. Otherwise, you can reach out by email to support